This is why, yeah, whatever. My file's too big. I gotta fucking upload 2 videos now. So, this is why, like Pisces, they have that, they have the knowing of what unconditional love is. Even though a lot of them don't practice it, because still we're human. We're fucking human. And they really have the brunt of all the higher and lower aspects of all the signs. They kind of get the brunt of the low end. They always get exposed to the lower energies attached to the signs, because they're the only ones who have the capacity to handle those energies for purification process, if they can actually ascend to that type of emotional maturity, that emotional development. That's why a lot of shit gets dumped on them. People's horror stories and traumas and nightmares, and they're really to purify that type of shit. That's why they're at the end of the zodiac, and Aries is the head. They just think, you know, they're a little more impulsive because they don't have to worry about that shit, you know. So, we're returning to innocence. The more pure and more healing that you do, the younger you become to be emotionally. And the maturity, I had to identify where I was stunted emotionally, what age, and that's kind of why I was stuck in that past life love, because he was around the physical age where those things took place. I had to amend that, and I had to heal it in order to continue to age emotionally. The younger I became in emotional age, the deeper the maturity. Through the eyes of a child, in a spiritual sense, is so simple. And we are the ones that make it difficult with our human aged minds, trying to attach a logic. But the heart of a child is far more pure and far more correct, if that makes sense. They trust their heart. They trust their first instinct, their first mind. And a lot of times when you're speaking to a child and they break down something so simple, we're like, huh, you know what I'm saying? You know, and it's like, why didn't I think of that? Well, because you were trying to think it more complicated than it really was. And this is what's happening in the process. You're getting younger in emotional age, and that's a good thing, because you still have the wisdom and the discernment that protects that. But emotions aren't very difficult at this point. You know, if you're upset, what am I upset at? Is it something they did, or something that disagree? Am I disagreeing? Does it disagree with my principles, my ethics, or what is it about me that you start to look at it different when you have the emotional intelligence and have, you know, the younger I get emotionally, it says nothing about, it doesn't, you know, the younger I get emotionally doesn't deter the wisdom that I've accrued. It actually shows me that I'm returning to the most inner, most vulnerable, most active. You know, for a long time we've just been caged. You know, let's cover the baby up, let's cover up the kid, you know, protect the baby, you know, ward off people that might threaten the safety of this heart. And I'm at the point where that heart can take care of itself. So I'm aging backwards in emotional age, which livens my spirit, which brings out my creativity to a different type of level. My beauty is different. I feel different. You know, my appearance, my stature, my walk, everything is different because of the vulnerability, the openness, the emotional maturity that is actually being presented nowadays. So it's not negative to be vulnerable. It's not negative to be emotional. It's those two extremes. You know, you have to find the equilibrium. And once you find the balance, your own balance, there is no discord there. It's only cohesion. That's where the unity comes into play. And you start to feel like there's no wrong choice here. There's no wrong decision. It is whatever I make it. It is whatever I say. It is whatever I fucking do because I trust myself. My twin. If my twin go, I'm going too. And there's no two minds about it. There's no second guessing it. There's no Gemini energy here. It is Gemini energy here. Actually, it's paternal. It's a maternal. We didn't look alike. We didn't act alike. We didn't think alike. Now we're right on the same fucking accord. And now it's like a sister-sister type of thing. Tia and Tamara, where one can think, you know, they can think separately, but they can also guess what the other one's thinking, type of deal. Like, they're so on point. Now they're walking in tandem, stepping, you know, you can't tell one from the other because they're so cohesive and so coherent. You know, they're mended. They're like melted together. And you can't separate one from the other. The masculine and feminine are working like Pippen and Jordan. They're separate, but they're still on the same team, and they get the job done, and they do that shit. There was a lot of components in that, but I'm not gonna go there again. I'll talk about the Bulls a lot, but that's not really the point I wanted to make. It's just when you awaken the two, and the two become one. The only thing that you can really accept from here on out is another balanced individual in that same regard. And a lot of times soulmates will get the fuck on when they see you in the process of doing that, because they know they can't match you right now. They know they don't have what it takes. They know that you have a different requirement of them, and it's not financial and physical and sexual. It's something a lot deeper than that. And a lot of times they just get the fuck on. They'll just... And this is where their work has to take place, because they have to come into their own union. They have to come into their own union. And it's not... And it's really great actually to break contact and not be around, because the moment that you are watching them and talking to them, and this, it really halts their progress. It really does. Because they're still getting the attention, they're still getting the time, they're still getting the booty, they're still getting whatever that you were giving their ass before. So they have nothing to develop for then. If you accept them as they are then. And it's not even about denying them or not accepting them. It's just that you know that you want more. It exudes out of you spiritually, physically, in your speech. When you're talking to them, they just know that they ain't got it yet. They just know. You know. And it's something you're not saying, but if you're dealing with a very intuitive person, they know. They feel the deficiency. They feel the difference. They feel that we're not the same. They feel the vibration difference. When you no longer seem to have things in common or can't keep a conversation going, and they get traction. The sex may be amazing, but there's no intimacy. And you can't reach it because that's an alignment thing. That's a unity thing. So if they're not in unity, it's a threesome. It's a fucking third party situation. It's their masculine, their feminine, and you with your balanced ass. So while they want to love you and they want to come closer to you, they got the masculine making the decision not to. Or while they got the masculine meeting up with you and the masculine is talking to you and this and that, the feminine don't trust enough to even open up to you. Third party situation. And it's two people. Does it make sense? If you follow me, you follow me. If you don't, it's okay. It's okay. We can go do a one-on-one type thing and I can break it down. $30 consultations. Email me, Cash App, PayPal, what have you. But sometimes you got the 4 of Cups. Sometimes you got, you know, there's sometimes 4 parties involved, because you have 2 unbalanced motherfuckers It may not even have to do with somebody outside of them. And even if it is, that's one aspect mirroring them. So they're really dealing with themselves in a human form. And they're supposed to get the fucking lesson in order to amend the shit. So the other person being a physical component of the relationship, to me, really doesn't even fucking exist. It's because it's the two of you trying to figure out what the fuck y'all got going on. If you looked at that person, you could see their fucking tendencies being reflected in your relationship. You can see it. You can see it. And they can't let go of the other person because they still have that karma to amend in order for them to come into union with themselves. There's still a part, an aspect of themselves that is not completed. The cycle is not completed. They're still making the same errors. Still, it's not clicking. They're still getting kept back and having to relive the same moment, the same memory, the same situation until they do it different. The man who wakes up and fucking relives the same day every day until he gets it right. That's what it is. And I talked about that with my special friend. And he called that shit Hades. Like purgatory. In a sense that, to me, that's what the fuck it is. On Earth. It's right here. It's not under the ground. It's right here. It's right fucking here. You choose, man. That's why you got the free will. You can keep bumping into that brick wall, or you can figure out why you put the brick wall there. Why you set up this resistance for yourself? Because these are your own roadblocks. These are your own safety pit stops and everything. This isn't just, this is by design, and you signed on to experience it this way. So you know how to get around it. Through it. You know how. Just gotta stop looking everywhere else but in the fucking mirror. Mírame. Mirror me. You're talking to your fucking self. Half of the time, you're talking to other people. And if you're doing the communication thing the right way, the whole video got fucked up and you won't see it. I was talking about the spades, mind, swords, air suit, listening and speaking is a dual form of communication, and a lot of people can't do both at once. They only speak, but they're not listening to what they're saying. So I'm done for the evening. I'm going, because I'm down to the phone now. Laptop's not working, so I can't use my camcorder, which has better video quality. I saw that the Sagittarius video was lagging so fucking bad, and I apologize, but the message still got out. So I'll have to use my phone. And when I do, I talk for 150 minutes. Shit. 90 minutes. Don't mean to. It's been an hour though. So I had a lot to say. Instead of breaking it down in 4 videos, which I could have done, it's gonna take me hella long to upload, but fuck it. Just one whop. I'm just dealing with so much spiritual and electronic interference, like my phone cutting off for no reason. It's a new phone. Phone cutting off for no fucking reason. I didn't hit the power button, and it's prompting me now. So on that note, I'm gonna get the fuck on. For those of you who made it to the end, email me mystqmadam@gmail.com and use the code COMQUAT for your free email reading. Limit 10. So on that note, good night.